This tutorial focuses on creating policy safeguards for small organizations under HIPAA. This is the third of the videos on HIPAA compliance for small organizations. It focuses on creating safeguards that are reasonable and appropriate. There are currently 5 videos in this series, with others planned to follow. The HIPAA security rule requirements are straightforward. Organizations are required to maintain reasonable and appropriate administrative, physical, and technical safeguards to protect against reasonably anticipated threats or hazards. The updated HIPAA security rule explicitly states that covered entities and business associates have the flexibility to choose security measures appropriate for their size, resources, and the nature of the security risks they face. However, all federal agencies, including HHS auditors under HIPAA, are required by law to use the NIST protocols. There are 101 possible safeguards for HIPAA-regulated organizations under NIST 800-66. Not all of these are reasonable for all organizations. The current version of the HIPAA security rule, page 5589, explicitly states that appropriate depends on the size and resources of the organization. While NIST 800-66 and its associated references are well written and extensively documented, they are not user-friendly in their raw form. While hospitals and large practices can hire expensive experts to apply these protocols in their original form, such expensive expertise is largely out of the budget for small groups. ACR and Compliance Helper have extensively interpreted and simplified these procedures to make them practically accessible to small organizations. HIPAA security rule compliance using the NIST standards is a cyclical process. The overall cycle of 11 tasks is shown here. For convenience, the more or less annual cycle has been divided into 4 quarters. A given set of tasks may take more or less time than this, depending on the complexity of the situation and available resources. Policy safeguard creation begins with obtaining an example of the particular safeguard to be prepared. This example will then be modified to meet the specifics of your particular organization. Policy examples are color-coded. Instructions are in blue and should be deleted after the policy safeguard is created. Data inputs are in red and should be modified and recolored after safeguard preparation. Supporting information is in black and may be left in place with the completed safeguard. Red text needs to be modified to fit the particular organization. The site-specific safeguard needs to be approved, adopted, and executed. Execution should involve a date, identification of the implementing authority, and a signature, either electronic or manual. Once executed, the policy safeguard needs to be distributed to all staff who are affected. The most efficient path to initial compliance involves creation of key safeguards. Some of these safeguards will already be in place and require only documentation. Begin by taking credit for the previous Task 2 risk assessment and setting RA3 to Yes. Note the date of initial risk assessment creation in the RA3 comment field. Additional guidance on using the risk assessment software is found in video 4 in this series. Antivirus and anti-spam software should already be present in most workstations. Note the software brand in the SI3 and SI8 comment fields. Security awareness training should be outsourced. Small organizations will not typically have this expertise. Record the specific service provider in the AT2 comment field. CP9, Information System Backup, typically requires only documentation. Termination events may be rare for small businesses, but it's important for people to understand what is and is not acceptable. Incident response planning and training are complex and should involve a consultant. Breach notification is a key part of incident response. A draft breach plan can be found online at the link shown. Creation and implementation of the initial safeguards should bring the organization into preliminary HIPAA compliance. For more information, contact your testing manager or one of the individuals shown on this slide. Thank you for viewing our tutorial.